Hey, I'm Bryony Kennedy, and today I'm going to show you a really nice, simple way of accentuating your eyes, especially if you're someone who has hooded eyes, or maybe you just want to create more of a defined socket. So this is my single socket color look. You can use any medium or light tone to do this. Now, just to get started, you can, of course, get your base ready, or if you struggle with fallout with your eyeshadow, you can always do your eyes first. So you would do your eyes, then you would do your base, your concealer, etc. So you're kind of working backwards. With this particular color palette, it's pretty easy to use. There is a little tip I can show you how to avoid fallout if you'd rather use or apply your base first. It's simply by grabbing a tissue and holding it like this underneath as you're working. That way, all of the fallout will pop onto the tissue rather than sit on your concealer. I'm not going to bother with that because I know exactly what I'm doing, and of course, after all of these years of applying makeup with this particular tone I'm using, I know that I'm not going to create any mess. Now, to get started, I have applied the all so famous Adorn Pigment Correction for the eye, okay? So this is our eyeshadow prep, and it's a nude creamy color, and you just plot a little bit from lash line to brow. It'll help neutralize your veins, and it will help give you a nice even palette to work with, giving a more even look to your eyeshadow colors. And of course, it just helps those eyeshadows stay on a lot longer and also increases the pigment or the intensity of the color. So just make sure you apply a little bit of eyeshadow at a time. Now, the brush that I'm using today is our number 9. It is a round dome brush with medium length bristles. So it's going to give definition and depth of color, but it's not going to be too intense if I use something that was a bit shorter, and it's not going to be too light if I used something longer. So it's going to give mid definition, okay, by using a mid round dense brush. Now, the compact that I'm using today is our Mineral Eyeshadow Compact in Nude, and it has biodegradable casing, a biodegradable compact, and it has a gorgeous mirror inside, which has a seal on the top, which you just need to replace when you get started. These are the 4 beautiful colors that you've got to choose from. So you've got a really nice nude, and you've got an ashy kind of a nude here, and you've got 2 taupe colors. Okay, this is a little bit darker, and this is the lighter one that I'll be using today. This shade here, or any that are that kind of depth, are really easy to work with when you're looking at a single socket shade to give not only definition to your eyes, but also just create that really beautiful socket, something elegant that you can wear to work, getting back to work, barbecue, weekend. This one is a definite go-to for me. You can use your pinks, you can use all sorts of colors for this. So let's get started. A little bit on the brush, and I'm just dabbing it. I'm not sweeping it around because you just get too much on the brush and you'll waste a lot of the product. So just dabbing it like this, getting just enough, and placement of this. If you haven't got a defined socket like myself, you just want to feel this part of your orbital bone here, or your eye socket bone here, okay? And you just want to place the first bit of color about there, okay? Not too far down, because you're going to start blending, and if you place it at the end, you've got nowhere to blend but further down, giving a droopy eye. So I always say start with your placement of your color there. If you're a novice and you just need a bit of guidance, a little bit of paint by number, so just put your guidance here. So it's a little bit in from the edge of your eyebrow here. Then you've got more area to move when you're blending. So that little dab that I did, you can see, has given enough to really do one of my eyes. And all I'm now doing is working down into the socket. I don't need to get too close. If you are someone who struggles with looking in the mirror, you need glasses usually, you can feel your eye socket, and that's what you want to be blending into. If you've got excess skin, I don't recommend pulling the eye because you're only going to put eyeshadow where you don't see it. Really try and keep a relaxed eye so that you can focus on getting it into the socket. So if you are raising your brows or looking around, there is color in the socket, but then what you want to do with this excess skin that might be hanging over the top here is once you've placed most of the color in here, you now want to very gently, and gently is the key here because it will not move the skin around as much. So very gently just feather the color up onto that loose skin that's hanging over the socket that you can feel. And it will take a bit of practice. You might want to do this every day till you get used to it. And then just feather this very gently so my skin's barely moving. That's how light we are, and that's how pigmented this is. You don't need to press hard. And that's going to give a really nice definition to your socket. And then I'm just going to keep blending. Perfect. Now, if you find that the color is too dark, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how you can tone that down in a moment. But let's get started on the other side. Now, this is why working with these mid-tones is really good, not only just because it looks beautiful, but especially if you're a novice, because it really is so much easier for you to blend without getting a muddy looking eye or a really smoky looking eye that looks washed out and looks ashy. We really want to just create that really nice look in that socket to give a little bit of definition. So you can see just on my lash line, it's still quite nude, and above the eyebrow here, it's quite nude. This here is really giving some good definition of that socket line just here. Now we can intensify that as well by just applying more, or you could apply a second color if you wanted to just in the edge here, but that will be my second look. I'm going to continue just deepening this socket a little bit more just by applying a second round, and then I'm going to show you how to do a really quick, easy eyeliner. Okay, so let's recap with that. The single socket color. All we need to do is a little bit of a dab. That's the key. Doing this, you're going to get too much eyeshadow. So that's the tip. Dab a little bit on the tip. Place it on your orbital bone. You'll feel that. Don't raise or move your eyes. Place that on your orbital bone just about here, further in from your eyebrow and the edge of your eye. This gives you area to blend without you placing it at the end here where you've got nowhere to blend, but down, giving a droopy look. You do not want any eyeshadow below the edge of your eye and the edge of your brow. Then once you've got your placement on both sides, you want to then continue blending into the socket. What's left on the brush, you can then very gently, very, very gently, this is the tip number 2, to tickle the color up onto that orbital bone, especially with the droopy skin. You don't want that moving. The lighter you go, the less likely you are to move that skin. And you really don't want to be lifting or moving the skin when you're doing this particular look. So then at least when you are looking around normally, your eyeshadow will look as your eyes do. No point lifting it up and then it all drops and then it looks all out of place. Again, you would blend this one, dipping it a second time, blend this one, and then very gently tickling that loose skin up the top to blend it away. Now, my third tip for this particular look, or any look in fact, is to always have a spare brush that you can use as your blending or your mistakes tool. So you'll notice that this is a round brush. See how it's so much longer than that. This is going to give much lighter, more fluffier coverage. It's going to give a really good blend. Something like this is going to give a little bit more intensity because the bristles are more dense and they don't move as much. So you want to keep one like this free always so that it can be your blending brush. You don't want to have any seams with your makeup. And what I mean with seams is you don't want to see where one product starts and another one finishes. So if you've gone too heavy, maybe you've picked a color that's too dark, or you've just got a real defined line, grab your spare dome brush and you just tickle it over wherever that edge is, that seam that you want to get rid of. You just tickle it over the top to get rid of that and it will buff it away. You can even pop a little bit of setting powder, our HD Blur, or even a nude eyeshadow over the top if you're needing a bit of extra color to tone that seam down. Okay, so this single socket look is a really easy one. It's perfect. It suits every eye shape. And again, you can use any color that you want. It can be really light. You can go really dark. And it's one that I think start off and master and build from there. Now, here's my little tip for eyeliner. Now, if you're not someone who's great with eyeliner, but maybe you want to enhance the lash line, you want to increase the volume of your lashes, this tip is for you. All you need to do is grab one of our crayons, so one of the thicker pencils, or one of our wind-up crayons. If you've got blonde, grey hair, maybe you might want to opt for the brown. If you've got darker hair, you might want to use the brown or the black. I'm going to use the black today just so you can see the difference a lot easier on camera. And I've just grabbed the brown, we want the black. Okay, these are wind up, which is great. And all you need to do is close your eyes one at a time. And you're going to essentially, when your eyes are shut, I'm going to show you where I'm placing this. You're going to wind this up just enough that it's going to apply to this lash, your inner rim here. So you're going to shut your eye and you're going to feel that and you're going to just run it under that lash line and you're just going to tickle it back and forth like that. You don't have to poke yourself in the eye, just so you can feel that you're sort of running it along your roots. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to blend this a little bit. So it's going to give a really nice straight line. Don't worry that it looks like this at the moment. We're going to blend this with an eyeshadow brush, which is going to give the look of more lashes and definition for the eye. So again, I'm just going to put a bit more because you want more than probably what you're comfortable with, because once you blend it a bit with the brush, it's going to tone it down. So close your eye, clench it together, and just tickle the top of those lashes. If you get it on the bottom lashes, that's okay. We can easily remove that or smudge it. You might like that look. Now I'm going to just pop this up under the rim to get that instant definition. I'm just going to show you one side to the other. So I'm just going to grab my little smudge brush, okay, which is the number 16. All you want to do is this part of the eye, I like to blend inwards, and this part of the eye, I blend inwards this way. Again, because I don't want to drag the color down. So I always work inwards, and I'm just going to blend this. You can shut your eye if you wanted to. See, look at that, really quick and easy. Just blend it in a straight line. Perfect. Now, if you wanted to keep this look here, you can, or just get a cotton tip and wipe it away. I'm going to blend it into this outer bit here. Now I'm grabbing my clean brush again because I don't want it to be quite that harsh because it's just for during the day. Although it looks perfect and beautiful, you could keep it that intense. But if you don't like the intensity, just look up, use your big clean brush and tone that bottom lash line down. Look at that. Look at that eye, so quick and effortless. If I can do this in the camera, then you can do this in your mirror where you can get a little bit closer. If you're someone who needs to get quite close, you might find that our 7-piece brush kit with the shorter handles is something that you find much easier to work with because you can get closer than these longer handles, or otherwise you just need to place your hand a little bit closer so that you can not have this sort of butting up against the mirror when you're working. Let's do that again on the other eye. So I'm going to place it under the lash line here and I'm going to just gently go back and forth. Now, the inner rim. And see, this time I didn't get it on the bottom. My smudge brush. And notice I've got my eyes shut as I'm doing this. And just to even it up, because I have got a bit here, I'm going to sort of smudge under there. Now I'm going to use my blending, look up for the bottom. There's a bit of a seam here, see? You can see the line. I want it to be like this. So I'm going to use this here and I'm just going to sort of focus on the top of that line. And it's instantly blended that. See, there you have probably the best eyeshadow tip you'll ever have is having a clean brush to get rid of that seam, to tone down the color and make it look like you've been spending hours doing your makeup. I also don't like, I've got a little bit of a white dot there, which I don't, or a bit of spare skin, which I don't like. So I'm just going to go back into there and get rid of that. I don't like seeing where makeup starts and ends. Okay, so before I show you the final look, I'm going to show you something else that's really going to open up your eyes, and that is grabbing yourself a pair of our lash curlers. Have a look at the difference this makes to your lashes. You can see that mine are fairly non-existent, and that can definitely happen as you get older. They tend to break a lot easier. So lash serums are really great, but for your makeup, these are a must-have, okay? So you just clamp down. There is a tutorial on how to use these, but just clamp down and bend up. And look at that. We have lashes. Awesome. Okay, I am going to step away, pop some mascara on, and be right back to show you the end result of my single socket eye look. I want to show you the difference between using the lash primer and not using our lash primer. You can see on this eye that the lashes look longer, and this side not so much. So I've applied our lash primer on this side. Now, if you're not sure what that is, it is a white product that coats the lashes and gives them extra length and extra thickness, and then you apply your mascara over the top. It makes a dramatic difference, and it's awesome if you're someone who doesn't want to use false lashes. You want gorgeous lashes every day, and of course it's going to save you a huge amount of money if you're someone who is normally used to wearing lash extensions. So the other tip you can do with your mascara is, once you've applied all of your mascara, 2 coats is usually enough. You can definitely curl your lashes again. That will give not only a longer looking lash, but the mascara acts as a gel and it almost holds the lashes in place a lot longer throughout the day. So my tip is, curl first, lash primer, 2 coats of mascara, up to you whether you do the bottom lashes or not, and then when it's dried for 30 seconds or so, give the lashes another curl for that extra va-va-boom long lashes. So there you go. Now, when you're wanting to finish off, if you feel like you need a little bit more dewiness to the skin, this is when you might want to add a little bit of highlighter around the face. That's up to you. Or maybe you want to create a little bit more definition around the brow or under the brow, creating a bit of a lift. This color here, this beautiful nude, using a flat brush like the number 6 here, you could pop this one here just under the brow on the outer corner, and that gives a nice lift to the eyes, gives the illusion of a higher arch of the brow. You could even pop a little bit just above the brow. So just think, when things are a little lighter, it gives that reflection and it gives the illusion of a bigger, more open space. So you can pop it all the way around underneath the brow like that if you wanted to. That's up to you. I tend to like popping it more so on the outer, and also to whiten up the eyes, making them look a little healthier, you can pop this color on the inner part of the top corner of your eye just here as well, and that will really just make it nice and healthy and white looking, even a little bit on the bottom just there. Okay, one last tip that I like to use, you could do this with a concealer or a highlighter or even this nude here to give a little bit of a lift to my eyes. If you've got eyeshadow that's falling down this part here, I would grab some concealer and I would definitely pat it up and away, and that will get rid of that eyeshadow for you, and it'll also clean up any excess, making it look brighter. If there's not, but you just want to give it an extra bit of a lift to the eye, using this nude, you just go to the corner of the eye like this and sweep up. And again, it's giving light to the corner of the eye, where as we get older, we can be a little bit sunken in there. So it just gives that really nice lift to the eyes as well, just there. Okay, so there we have my single socket look. You can use any eyeshadow color, of course. You can do your eyes first, your base last, wear a gloss, wear a lipstick, totally up to you. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's one of the ones I think to start with, get used to, and then you can build on from there. In my next look, I'll show you how you can use 2 colors just to enhance the look of your eyes. But what you can also do with this compact before we go is use these for your brows as well. So if you're wanting to use them as a brow dust, you can use it wet if you wanted to as an eyeliner. So it's really multi-purpose. It's a beautiful compact, really good for sensitive eyes, and of course it's all made here in Australia.